Okay. What's going on, Birdland? Stephen Heckman here for the Final Strike podcast, brought to you by the Baltimore Battery. Season 2, episode 17 is underway. Been roughly about a week since the trade deadline's come and gone, and I tell you what, it's been 10 days to be exact. 10 days to be exact. What do you think? So far, the prime product return has to be Zach Eflin, correct? I mean, we got Zach Eflin prior to the trade deadline, which Michael Elias definitely jumped real big on that one, and that was really cool. I mean, the fact that it was an interdivision trade is outstanding. The fact that it turned out as well as it's turned out already is even better. I mean, since joining the Baltimore Orioles, Zach Eflin is 3-0 with a 2.88 ERA, and he's covered. Batters are batting 247 against him. He has a 1.09 WHIP. He's pitched 19 and a third innings. He's gone 6 innings or more in each start. He's not allowed more than 3 earned runs yet. He's allowed a total of 5 earned runs. And he struck out 17 and walked 2. What I really like as I start looking further into these stats is you get down here, he's got 9 quality starts this season. He's got 3 of them with the Baltimore Orioles. 3 quality starts in 3 games. So there's a sense of motivation and urgency there, which is great. So I love it. I've always liked Zach Eflin. He's always been the cusp of that good pitcher that can be better. And I don't know if it's not just been put there, because he's been integral to teams along the way. Like, he led the American League in wins last year. The Phillies World Series run a few years ago. He's been very integral. So I don't want to knock him in the least bit. He just is not taking that next step to where everybody thought he would be. And I like the guy. I think he's very suave veteran. He's a strike thrower. He's not going to bullshit you at the plate. You're going to get somebody who's going to be in the zone. He's going to move the ball around. He's going to force you to put the ball in play. He trusts his defense. And that's another thing. In yesterday's victory, 4-1 victory, Brandon Hyde said that was probably best pitching and defensive game we've played for quite some time. He says we actually played ball like we had in the beginning of the season. That's important, because those are the type of games we're going to need down the stretch in order to make a strong playoff and postseason run. Remember, Grayson Rodriguez is on the IL with a lat strain. We don't know how severe that's going to be. Hopefully, it's just the minimum of the 3 days. Hopefully, he'll be back soon. Or not 3 days, 3 starts, 15 days. But the thing is, with Grayson Rodriguez being out, we don't know if it's going to be longer or not. We're hoping, like I say, and what we were talking about in chat the other day, the guys in Casey and me, were, did Grayson, gain from experience the last time he had a lat strain? And if you remember, 2 years ago, he was on the cusp of actually making his major league debut and getting the call up when he had a lat strain. And a lot of people kind of believe he was pushing himself too much at that point. Grayson's having a great season at 13-4. Hopefully, this was something he caught early enough based off his previous experience that it's just going to be a little bit of rest, a little bit of treatment, usually some massage, some TENS unit, stuff like that. And that'll help him recover properly. Now, more importantly, I don't want to rush him back, because obviously we don't want a long-term injury or long-term ramifications. I mean, as is, we're already going to be missing Kyle Bradish for at least half the season next year, if not longer. Tyler Wells Don't know how long he's going to be. He didn't have a full Tommy John surgery, but he had surgery his on the area in the elbow where the Tommy John is done. So if that makes sense to you, I don't know what the recovery time frame is at. I've heard various reports. It could be spring training. It could be by the middle of next season. I don't know. Once again, that also is based off the recovery. Remember, Tyler Wells did have Tommy John surgery prior to joining the Baltimore Orioles, so that's something that you got to keep a monitor on top of as well. The aspect there is then you have Trevor Rogers, who's 26. He's very young, so the postseason and playoff push is something that he might not be up to. And then you have Corbin Burns and Zach Eflin. So they both have playoff experience. Those both can be crucial to us down the stretch. But Grayson Rodriguez is very important to us. When you can go into the postseason knowing that your top three pitchers are Burns, Rodriguez, and Eflin, that's a nice 1-2-3 punch. And then you have the ability to Rogers based off, what's coming next or necessity. You have the ability to bring in Kramer, who Dean Kramer last year pitched a lot of big games for us. So we're waiting for that to trigger and get him going because he will be crucial to us down the stretch as well. You have Albert Suarez. You have Cole Irvin, who we managed to get through waivers and keep. I'm shocked. I really am shocked that we got him through waivers and we're able to keep him on the team, who's down in AAA. I don't know if people are just hesitant to make a move or just were reluctant because they're not sure what to think with Cole Irvin once we put him on once we DFA'd him. On top of that, in the minors, you have Cade Pavich, who has some experience here up in the majors. Didn't do bad, didn't do great. He had some very good games. He had some very bad games, but his downfall was walks. Like as good as the guy could be, his downfall was walks. And what I really enjoyed is the fact that he went back down 10 days later, took the mound, 7 innings, 8 strikeouts. Walk. Say that again: 7 innings, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. Got the win. So the good thing is he's not allowing that trip to the majors to go to his head and then swell his ego as he goes down to the minors. He actually utilized it as a learning experience to learn, to grow, and to improve. If things worked out better, hell yeah, I'm all for it. But I'm also for the process of letting these players grow and learn and become better because of that. Look at what a difference between Jackson Holiday, the beginning of the season, to Jackson Holiday now is. And, you had people at the trade deadline sitting there calling Jackson Holiday a bust. Kid's got 4 home runs now. And I know it's a small sample size, but he's been tearing the ball off the cover since he's come back. It amazes me that people can't see the talent that this kid has. Look, let me put it this way. When Jackson Holiday was drafted, Zach was all over it. Zach's like, Jackson Holiday. We're going to draft Jackson Holiday. There's something about Jackson Holiday. Elias loves Jackson. I mean, Zach was on it. Do not get me wrong. Zach was on it. Now, if I remember, I think Justin was all on Tremaine Johnson. Jared and me were pretty big on Drew Jones. I mean, we really loved his makeup of Drew Jones. And plus, we didn't think we were keeping Cedric Mullins at the time. So, we had perspective and thought process, or that Mullins would move over to, right field with Tandar left. And we wrote our article. We broke down the top candidates that were linked to the Orioles. Of course, Drew Jones was the number one. But in that article, and you can go back and read this article, in that article, I did name Jackson Holiday as a rising dark horse candidate. And the reason being is the more makeup I saw of this kid, the more I read about this kid, the more I realized how much of a complete player he actually was. And Jared in the conversation in private about it, about, this kid is realistically got an opportunity to be the number one pick for us. We were the Drew Jones trade. I'm not saying we weren't, because Jared and me were like, get ready, it's happening. Drew Jones is going to be a Baltimore, but when I was writing the article for the breakdown of the prospects, and Jared and me were talking, we looked at this kid. Jared sees a swing like Bryce Harper, and yes, when you compare their swings side by side, it's scary to see how very similar his is to Bryce Harper's. I see a swing through, and I don't mean from the start, I mean from about where he gets to the waist all the way through. Reminds me so much of Ken Griffey Jr. And I know people are saying, no, not Ken. Ken Griffey Jr. had one of the sweetest, smoothest swings I ever saw. Jackson Holliday's swing is like that. It's very smooth. It's very sweet. It's not a swing that's going to just do one thing. It can do multiple things. And on average, it can hit the ball, sacrifice. It can do so many different things, and you can get it all over the park. What's really impressive is to see these home runs Jackson Holliday is hitting, and then look at his stature, and it's like, whoa, he's not like Cody Mayo. He's not built like Anthony Santander, and he's hitting the ball solid mile. Not realistic. I'm putting an emphasis there because the kid has talent. He has power. Defense needs some improving. Now that's going to come, but I do believe we've got something going here. And then when Kobe Mayo gets his back going, what I saw of Kobe Mayo in the minors is just like, you just can't wait to see it happen in the majors. And we saw some of it in spring training. It was amazing. It was phenomenal. The guy can hit the ball, and the guy's really good at what he does. His defense, I know a lot of people question that, but he actually takes pride in his defense. He actually works with the coaches on his defense. And I think because people know he hits the ball a ton. Usually batters who hit the ball a ton, they'll put him on the field, just put him on the field because they want their battle lineup. But realistically, this kid is something special. The talent that has been put on this team is something special. The thing that sucks is we traded Connor Norby, which a lot of people liked, but Jordan Westburg was just too damn good. And then Jordan Westburg breaks his wrist. I mean, it's just like, I was like, oh, damn. And it did later. I mean, and it could have happened at any given time. It's just the timing was bad. And that's it. The timing was just bad. But, now, unfortunately, Ramon Urias has to stick around. And, I've had my discussions on Ramon Urias on here. We've heard them. So, it's all good. The guy's got a good defense, but his bat's actually it's been doing better than I thought. So, but I do like the Eloy Jimenez pickup because it reminds me of the Aaron Hicks pickup. It really does. It reminds me of the veteran who was let go by another team because he just wasn't doing what he was supposed to do, or they just didn't have plans for him. When we got Aaron Hicks, the Yankees basically were just holding on to him because they had to pay him. They would gladly have gotten rid of him, and when they finally did, we scooped him up, and look how it worked out for us. And then, I see the same thing with Eloy Jimenez. He has an opportunity to play well enough that we pick up his option next year and the year after. Probably not. We might want to rework that if we do. But, I mean, this is a guy who hit 31 home runs. He was fourth in the Rookie of the Year voting. He was a Silver Slugger. The talent's there. The bat is there. But I'm sorry, people don't understand playing on a losing team takes its toll. It really does. And there are players who will stick it out because they want to be there to help turn that team around. They want to be that piece that was there to help the team around. And they don't get that opportunity. and it starts wearing on them. And then it's like, I'm never going to be a winner. Or I'm not going to be part of a winning team or winning culture. What else do I have to do? And it goes on and on and on. How would you like to play for a team that lost 21 straight games? That no matter what they did, they found a new way to lose at all times. What excitement do you have coming to the ballpark to go through that? It's hard. I love to win, but I hate losing so much more than I love winning that I literally get angry because of a loss. Like when I screwed up when I played baseball, I'm not saying I was great, but I was not bad. I was pretty decent, I didn't hit well, but when I learned how to pitch and I properly was able to pitch, I could move the ball around. I could put the ball in places and everything like that. And might not have had a power fastball, but I could sidearm it, I could submarine it, I could snap it, twist it, dart it in, dart it out. I knew what I was able to do. And if I had a bad game, I felt I let my team down. Like I lost a game one time. It was a 2-0 was the final. I gave up 2 hits all game, a double and a home run. The same inning. Lost 2-0. My team had 1 hit for the game. And like my senior year, I went 1-3, but my team averaged like 1.2 hits per game. And at one point I had the 3rd most ERA in the state of Delaware. So, it's not like I wasn't pitching good. My team just was not responding. Like I felt like Corbin Burns did at the beginning of the year with the Orioles. You go out there, you do what you can to put your team in a position to win. You're just team's unable to break through, but you win and you lose it as a team. But as a pitcher, when I made a mistake or I cost our team, I took it personally. And that's how I feel like some of these professional players get when they're on a team that's consistently losing, constantly losing. You get to a point where you're so uncomfortable with it that you don't even want to come to work. You force yourself in there. You force yourself to go out there. You force yourself to play the game, and you can see them going through the motions. It's like the year of the Orioles fire sale. Everybody knew it was Showalters and Dan Duchette's last year. So you could see I called it the Manny Machado effect. And, you kind of saw it in Washington, the Bryce Harper effect. Everybody knew those players were returning to their teams. So it was just a matter of time of when they were going to get traded, who they were going to get traded for, and where they were going to get traded. So as a team, the club's not invested in winning, so why are you going to go out and try? And you figure, it's not going to help you. Somebody else getting traded, so then you get butt hurt or you get upset because you're not sure you're going to be able to get away, and you're stuck on a team who won 47 games. You had people like Adam Jones, who refused to trade to the Phillies. He wanted to stick it out. He wanted to be there for the turnaround. He wanted to help turn things around for the team. Eventually ended his career in Arizona and Japan, but Adam Jones will forever be an Oriole. Adam Jones loved Baltimore. Adam Jones made Baltimore's home. And, I'm hoping players like Corbin Burns will see that and want to resign. That there's something special here. The fans, the magic, everything. That there's something special to be a part of. And what's going on right now with our team, with Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson, Jackson Holiday, Grayson Rodriguez, Felix Bautista back next year. All these players, there's a special camaraderie going on. If anybody watched my segment on TikTok, 10 Minutes with Steven, I was talking about tempering expectations. And you have to an extent, when you have 3 stars out for the year. Dean Kramer is an extended period of time, if I remember, 6 weeks. Grayson Rodriguez is now on the IL for the 2nd time this year. Danny Coulomb on the IL until end of August, beginning of September. Now Jacob Webb. It's when you start losing key pitching components, it affects your team and it affects things in the long run. So those are things we have to pay attention to, and those are things that we have to look out at. So we'll see. We're in a good position. We're in a good spot. We won the season series against Toronto, which is great. So now we don't have to worry about, if they miraculously go on some crazy run and win the division and we tie with them, we have the tiebreaker. I think we can wrap that up with Tampa Bay, too, if I'm correct, this weekend. But it's a fun ride. Buckle up. Zach Eflin is definitely making Michael Elias look like a genius again. Now, if we can get Trevor Rogers to do the same thing, will be gravy. Austin Slater, this kid's been a nice breath of fresh air. And Eloy Jimenez, he's doing pretty good too. Now get Trevor Rogers on the boat and get Sosa back on. It's going to be all right. This kid, Sir Anthony Dominguez, he's pretty good steal too. So, and all these pitchers are on contract next year. Elias has something up his sleeve. We're going to close up here, Baltimore. Thank you all for listening. Appreciate you all being a part of it. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to like, share, and follow. And don't forget to subscribe. It's free to subscribe right now. That way, you get all the notifications when we come out with new episodes and shorts. Eventually, we're going to be doing some giveaways, and I want y'all to be a part of it. So make sure you subscribe, tune in weekly. We'll be here. I want to thank everybody for listening and following and supporting the Final Strike, because without you, we wouldn't be able to do this. So thank you all very much. Also, I want to thank the Baltimore Battery, because without them, we wouldn't be here either. Baltimore Battery has given me the ability to have a platform to speak upon and write and reach Birdland and interact with Birdland and be a part of that. And I thank them very much for giving me that opportunity. I'll forever be grateful to them for that. Also, don't forget to check out the First Flight podcast, brought to you by Zachary Bucklow. You want to know anything about the minor leagues? That's the guy to go to. That's the guy who will get you all the information that you need to know. Usually comes out weekly. Be on the lookout for that as well. I want to thank the Scooters for Rent for our sponsorship. Without them, the lights would not be on, and we would not be sitting here in this wonderful burgundy chair. So a special shout out to Scooters for Rent. Remember, if you're in the Maryland and Delaware Eastern Shore area and you're looking for mobility products, mobility aids such as mobility scooters, manual wheelchairs, beach wheelchairs, electric wheelchairs, or reclining lift chairs, give Scooters for Rent a call at 302-280-6203, and be sure to tell them that Steven from the Final Strike sent you. Till next time, Maryland, please keep the beer cold. Make sure you cheer the Orioles on, and we'll see you next week. Peace out to y'all.